Hey everybody, this is 44 Politics here again with another video. Before I get started, please feel free to like and subscribe. Now on to the video. Okay everybody, the election is almost upon us, and for a lot of people who don't like politics, it's freaky, but for us political nerds here at the channel, it's amazing. And there's a lot to dig into. The election has certainly changed over time. If you watch my video I posted yesterday, which I can link right now, I analyzed how the presidential map changed over time. Now I'll analyze the Senate map. The Senate map is certainly very interesting. 2018, I believe that I think a lot of people, including, well, really just me, I don't know. I certainly thought the Democrats would do a lot better than they did. Certainly a very disappointing year. And 2018 and 2020 was looking out to be like that, with Democrats having little chance in states that were a little bit more conservative. I mean, they really need to take down Joni Ernst, Steve Daines, Tom Tillis, and take Georgia and such, and didn't look like they're getting many candidates. John Hickenlooper and Steve Bullock both ran for president. Stacey Abrams said no and then tried to become vice president. Beto O'Rourke also ran for president. And yeah, I think they may have lost some valuable assets, but really just Beto O'Rourke and Stacey Abrams. But good for them, Steve Bullock and John Hickenlooper both did run for Senate in their respective home states. But before that happened, the Senate election looked something like a lot different. It honestly looked very solidly for the Republicans, and I didn't think that the Democrats would be able to pull one off. It looked like a 52-48 margin. The Democrats eventually started making gains in Maine, and it became 51-49. They were winning. They had like about 3 pickups in Maine, Colorado, and Arizona, and they also were defending very few seats this election, and mostly in pretty solid states for them. Eventually, they started picking up North Carolina, Iowa, and by now, they're winning in the Georgia special election. In Real Clear Politics, they have Ralph Warnock ahead by 10%, which is pretty crazy. Steve Bullock ran, which is making Montana practically a toss-up, but I'm still giving it to the Republicans for now, because Steve Daines is winning in polls. States that shouldn't be really that competitive, such as Kansas, Alaska, and South Carolina, are very much competitive. Kentucky and Texas aren't as competitive as they could be, and that's pretty unfortunate, I have to say. Georgia's regular election, also very competitive, despite the fact that Stacey Abrams is not running, and if she did, I think that they would be pretty handily winning the state. They still have a good candidate in Jon Ossoff. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the race has certainly changed. The Democrats are now ahead by 4 seats and have a majority. There are also states like Montana and Georgia's regular election, which I rate as pretty much just toss-ups. Yeah, let's just analyze this a little. So, as you can see, most states have actually had a leftward, they tilted towards the Democrats. So you look at states such as Georgia special election, which if I go to the Senate forecast, which I'm on Iowa for some reason. I'm sorry, this is the third take I've had of this video. I deleted both of them by accident, so not very good. Laughs really sadly. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, if you look here, okay. Yes, the Georgia Senate race. If you look at the earlier, August, even that close, it was very, very solidly for the Republicans, but now it's Ralph Warnock has taken the lead with winning, has a 53% chance of winning, basically, which went from 73 to 51 for the Republicans, and now it's the Democrats. Very, very interesting. Real Clear Politics, as I said before, now gives Warnock a 10% lead, and a lot of the head-to-head matchups between him and Loeffler and Collins have Warnock ahead by at least 4%. That puts it in the Democratic column. Before, I put it as likely Republican. Now it's not. Georgia. What could happen in Georgia is if no one gets 50%, if there's no majority, it could be a runoff, in which case Jon Ossoff might even be held by Ralph Warnock and win. since not many there in the Georgia regular election. Neither candidate is over 50% very often, as a matter of fact. If we look at this, usually you don't see one ahead by. Usually they're usually under. So yeah. If that happens, that puts the Democrats at 53 seats. Then you have Montana, where Steve Daines is ahead and Steve Bullock is behind. But it's certainly close, and I think Steve Bullock has a very solid shot. You see, the only one that is in the margin of error puts Steve Daines ahead, so that is what I'm going to count as making it lean Republican. So yeah. But if they win that, that's a 54 seats for the Democrats. Then they can, if they made gains in South Carolina, Kansas, and Alaska, which they very much could, that would give them, about 57 seats. What is more likely is that I think South Carolina would go before Alaska or Kansas overall, despite the fact that Lindsey Graham is ahead was ahead by 9% in an A+ rated poll, which means that I will give him the lead in this one. Okay, the only state I think, actually about 2 states I think are leaning more towards Republican than in the beginning are Kentucky, as you can see here, and Texas. So going over Kentucky, you can see in the beginning a much closer race, and Amy McGrath was even ahead in a poll. But then the margin got so big for McConnell that it went from lean Republican to toss-up to likely Republican. If you do look at the latest polls on the presidential side, Mitch McConnell is underperforming Donald Trump, interestingly enough, but still not enough to put Amy McGrath over the top. Now I will put Texas up here, down south. John Cornyn, there are a few polls that seem very close, but by and large, it is definitely a likely state. If I do go back to the beginning, you see that Beto O'Rourke was doing pretty well actually, and he was definitely behind by the least amount, but he did not run. And definitely Beto O'Rourke was outperforming. He was definitely outperforming MJ Hagar about this time in 2018. As you can see, there were some polls with O'Rourke ahead, and some with him behind by large margins, but plenty of ones that were, at least he was winning polls, and Cruz only had by definitely a smaller margin than he should be. So those are probably the biggest states. Alabama, Doug Jones is gone. I hate to say it, but he's kind of in the lost category. Alaska, Al Gross did win a poll, and he won 2 by now, and a lot of them are on margin of error, but there is an A+ poll showing Dan Sullivan ahead by 8%. So I give that one to the Republicans for now. Kansas, let me head down there. Or really, it's kind of the Midwest. It's like the middle of the country, so I'd say it's not really a word for that, though. It's no problem. Barbara Bollier is winning in a few polls, and they're really close. But you see some polls with Roger Marshall ahead by 7%. So, again, Republicans. In the end, I think that Democrats are doing much better. They might have been able to run better candidates. I think the map would look something like this if they ran the best candidates that they could. And, under the best circumstances, the best case scenario for Democrats is much, much, higher of a chance for the Republicans and get out 60 seats compared to the Republicans. It'd be very difficult for them to get 60 seats. But still, they could be handily ahead in the Georgia Senate race if Stacey Abrams ran, and probably ahead if Beto O'Rourke ran in Texas instead of MJ Hagar, who does not have much experience, and does not have the energy that Beto O'Rourke had. If he hadn't run for president, honestly, I think he could have had a straight campaign, 2-year campaign ahead of John Cornyn, plus plenty of support and cash. So yeah, I think that he probably should have run, and that would give the Democrats a much, probably a, much more solid plan. That could be about 55 seats, even without, that'd be 54 seats for Democrats. That would be very, very good, and that'd only be like a net gain of about 2 seats, but still. Joe Biden would probably need a Democratic majority to pass any bills that he wants. So, yeah. that's pretty much it, everyone. I would like to thank you all for watching. So I will be, I do have some milestones, and you can check out, I do have some milestones, and I believe that I have, made. So, sorry, my brother's getting loud. Sorry about that. So if I do get to 50 subscribers, or 25 subscribers, or 50, I don't know, whichever one, I will start doing more live streams, often. And I would like to get to maybe 25 subscribers by election night, or maybe even 50 if we're gonna. That's kind of crazy, but it's my kind of pipe dream. So we can do a fun live stream. I'd probably do it either way, but make it a little bit more special if we get to 25. That sound good? Okay, so yeah, if you want to get to that goal, subscribe right now, and you can also like the video so more people can see it and they can, enjoy my content. And yeah. Comment down below what you think the video, what do you think of the video? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Feedback, anything like that. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.